All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy Monday, May 19th, coming to you right now from Arizona. I literally got in from New York City last night to SFO at 9 or 8:30 p.m. Didn't go home, stayed in Millbrae, got up at 4 a.m., got on a flight, headed out to Arizona, coming back tomorrow morning. And so you guys, what a week, right? What a week. Now, that type of travel is not common. However, I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. I rented a car in Pennsylvania, drove to Connecticut, drove to Virginia, drove to New Jersey, took the ferry into New York, and have had just an amazing week. And so my cup is full. My gratitude is beyond, and I'm just super, super excited about life and being able to do the things that I'm able to do and be here for you guys, right? There was no way I was missing this morning. There was no way that we were missing a Monday morning. So super, super grateful, excited to be here. We're going to kick this thing off. As always, I'm going to have somebody bring us out on the field, kind of set the tone for this Monday. And that person is going to be, let's see, Cecilia. It's going to be you. You're ready, you're rocking. You and I might differ on a couple things, like adults going to Disneyland, but we'll have that conversation on a different level at a different time. But Cecilia, I'm gonna have you bring us out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. Let's roll.
Okay. I think this week was weekend actually was really full for me. So it was about celebrating the small victories and not focusing too much on the big picture, just remembering that to not stop, to keep going, and little by little, sort of that one day at a time, it holds true. And just remembering that all these different small victories and things that I'm doing are all going to amount to something really big and special. And just try to remind myself of that.
I love it. And Cecilia, I'll tell you this, you're seen, obviously I get to see your stuff. I follow you, and what you're doing already, you're already showing up. And so I'm glad that you're going to bask in the small wins, because that's what this business is all about. And so congrats to you on all your success. And if you could define one of those small wins, what was the small win?
Geez, a small win. Let's see.
We got to keep the momentum going. So
I know. I'm like, there's so many. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I think just saying yes to, like you said, just showing up. I was asked to do a couple open houses. One of them was really early in the morning. And you just don't know, like, if that's going to yield any fruit. But saying yes to helping other people, even though, that's sort of like, what's in it for me, or what am I going to get out of it? Like, all these different small things can really add up to something. And so it's a new business for me. So I have to remember that there's not going to be these immediate results. But I think just saying yes, it felt good to be helpful and know that I'm learning when I'm meeting with clients that come through, and I'm getting to practice in real time the scripts that I'm looking at during the week. On the weekends, I get to go over those with real people who don't know me, who don't know if this is the right script that I'm saying or the wrong script. And that all just feels really good.
Well, I love it. I love it. And you don't know, right? You just practice, you practice, you practice. People will tell you phrases and things to say and dialogue to have, but you're never going to know what actually moves people forward until you have those conversations. And so good job. Way to get out there and just start to build. And so absolutely love this. You guys, I want to hear from you today. It's Monday. I got a lot of things on my mind. Obviously, I've been reflecting. I've been driving. Then everyone was saying last week, dude, aren't you tired? Aren't you exhausted? You've been in 7 different states in 5 days. I'm like, no, like, I get to be on the road and reflect, and listen to music and sing and just really be in a state where I'm not able to always do that, right? Most people think, oh, just go get a flight. Well, that would probably be reasonable. And if you've spent any amount of time with me, you know that I'm not a reasonable person. I believe in doing the things that are not reasonable to get different type of results in my life and business. And I'll tell you what, that time on the road, driving through Maryland or Virginia or wherever the heck I was, I'll tell you what, I will never forget those days on the road and the things that I got to think about and the ideas that I came up with. And so you guys, I am excited about where we are in business, and I got to spend some time with the president of our company. You know, he's just a cool dude. He's just a human being that is down to have normal conversations, and the proximity that we have to the leaders in this company is absolutely amazing. So there's another rally coming up. I think it is in July if we're up in Sacramento. Chris, maybe you can help me out with that date. But I want you guys to get into those rallies. Just go hear from other people that are speaking at EXP, expand your network, talk to people about, you know, co-sponsorship opportunities in different markets, and just continue to build, you guys. That's what this company is all about. We're not in a silo. We're not on an individual island. This is all about growth and collaboration and how can we help others, you know, truly take it to the next level. And so get yourself to these rallies, get yourself in those rooms, have some fun, meet some new people. And I'll tell you what, you guys, tons of opportunities can open up for you. And if you're somebody that's on this call that says, you know what, I'd love to be a speaker at one of these events, then throw your hand up. If you got something of value that you want to share with people, then share. Get on the mic. You guys, it is an incredible opportunity for you to build, and there's no rules as to who can present at these things. So I want to be a walking encouragement for every one of you. If you want to get on stages, if you want to do big things, if you want to build networks, then go out there and build, because nothing is standing in your way. EXP is not just telling you, just go and sell real estate. Now, obviously, we want you to sell a shit ton of real estate, but what we want you to do is continue to build and build in your way, build in your voice, build in your cause, your crusade, and your purpose, and nobody else can do it your way. So have some fun with it. This is the time where we're truly, you know, it's open season for us to build something incredible. So you guys, I am excited about everything right now, but I'm gonna turn it over to you. I want 5 people to get in the conversation. We're gonna talk about wins from this last week. We're going to go wins, and then we're going to go challenges. So whoever you are, I want you to get involved in the conversation. 5 people, wins from last week. Let's go. I have Jamie. I need 4 more, you guys, so don't leave me hanging. I got Heather. I got Antu. I got Andre. I got Nicholas. Okay, cool. So we're going to go there. Jamie, share with us high-level win from last week. Let's roll.
Good morning, colleagues. Hope everybody had a great week. My week went great. The house that I had listed in Stockton went pending with 5 offers. So that went great. Open house was on fire the first weekend. So just a great win, pendings, and then reaching out to Ashley, giving her some leads that came from the open house. So I just say sharing is caring. And I just tell everybody that life is like a bicycle. It's like a bicycle. To keep on moving, you got to stay balanced to keep on moving. So just keep moving, stay balanced.
Jamie, I absolutely love this. So what did you do to get this listing?
It was a past client. I sold her mom's condo in Sacramento before her mother passed away. So I had to wait till it went through probate, sold that condo, and the daughter called me and said, "Hey, you did a wonderful job with my mom's. You sold her house with ethics and appreciation and care. So I want you to sell my house too." So I sold the house. So it's impending. So just praying that it goes through all the contingencies and ready for more.
Let's go, Jamie. I love this. Absolutely love it. What a way to start out the week. Great win. Let's go to Antu. Antu, share with us a win from last week. Let's roll.
I had a wonderful week, and then I also got to hang out with my family and friends. And then on yesterday, um, I submitted also an offer this week, and then we heard back yesterday while I'm with my friends and family that it got accepted, and it was 9K under asking with a 25K in credit. And
Let's
I
go.
had and then I also got my client a full $900 package for a premium warranty. And so it's a pretty good deal. I'm kind of like, man, I should have asked for 30, but you know what? Don't push it. It was great. And so, yeah, that was my win.
I love it. I love it. And you know, you should have asked for 30, let them come back at 25, but nonetheless, it's a learning experience. You got your consumer in contract and congratulate. And what a great time to get the news, right? We're hanging out with your friends and your family. And now they're like, oh, okay, look at her. She's busy. That is all the social proof they need to work with you in the future. So I love this.
Yeah, it was great like yesterday. So, and it was my niece first communion. And so it was like all my best friends' family are out and they're just like talking. They're like, we've been seeing you online, etc. And it was just really good and it was a good time just to be with family and surrounded loved ones.
Let's go. Let's go. Really, really great win. I love that. Let's go, H-Bomb. What do you got for us? Wins from last week, and then we'll go up to Andre next, and then Nico Snow, you're on deck. Let's go.
Hi, sorry, phone issues. Yeah, I just went live last night on my listing, so that was good. And so I'm super excited about that. Yeah, so yeah, that's my win.
Well, congratulations. Tell us where it is. Tell us a little bit about it, where it is, so we can support.
I've been working on it for a minute. It's in Escalon. It's 1112 Escalon. It's right in downtown Escalon. It's a 3-2. It's a cute little house. It was built in 97. It's a really nice little starter house. So yeah, it's I don't know if y'all know where Escalon is, but it's just about 10 minutes north of Modesto. It's a really desirable community over here because it has that like small town feel, kind of like, Riverbank. So yeah, that just went on the market last night. So I'm super happy.
I love it. Awesome. Drop the information down below. So if we have any buyers in that area, love it. Congratulations. Andre, let's go over to you. Andre, I don't think we've met officially. I'm Elias. How you doing? Andre going once. Andre, we're going to come back to you because your audio is not really good. So let's go, Nico.
Yeah, so this week or last week, I guess, was I picked up one of my friends who wants to buy a home. We're out looking at homes today. I also had the neighbor across the street from my listing in Escondido. She reached out and she's like, hey, we're moving, so we need a realtor. So we're going to talk on Thursday about listing their home. And then open house wise, it was incredible yesterday. I picked up a lead that needs to sell 2 condos, also is looking for a fixer upper, also another lead that's looking like 1.6 range, and then another old couple that I'm helping get into a 1-bed condo. So really good stuff.
Let's go. And for the folks that have not met Nico Snow, he serves the San Diego area. So if you have any people that are moving that way and you need a referral, make sure to reach out to your boy Nico. Let's go, David, and then Damien, you'll be on deck. Damien, is that your papa chair, bro? I've never seen this angle. I've never seen that chair before. So I got to know what's going on. David, rapid fire, big dog. Wins for this week.
Mini win. One of my friends referred me to one of his friends about real estate. I'm just trying now. Challenges. I'm trying to get him out of the rent to buy because his monthly budget for renting is $3,000 to $4,000. So I'm like, if you wanna, so I wanna role play because I've been talking to him about it, and he was like, stop being a salesman. And then I was like, I'm just trying to help you out. As a friend, I would tell you it's better to buy than it is to rent. So, I just got to get past that objection.
All right, cool. Yeah, I could definitely help you out with that. And sometimes your friends and family are going to be the hardest on you, but appreciate you sharing that win. Let's go to Damien. What do we got from Big Dog? What's this new chair? Is this your reading chair?
No, a couple years ago when we moved from the apartment, this was in the basement of the building that was built in 1900. So I don't know how old this chair is. My wife hates it, but she hasn't replaced it yet. I love it. It looks like Jordan's to me. So I keep it around. But a win is that with my my condo listing in West Oakland, the buyer removed their only contingency. So we're going to actually close. We were in contract like 3 weeks ago, fell out of contract, and then so this is the second time around. So that's a big win that this is actually going to close. It was on the market for a year with another agent before me. So a little more than a month on the market, and we're going to get it closed for my seller. So that's a big win. And then I picked up 2 buyer clients from doing 2 open houses at the condo, and wrote a backup offer Friday for another condo for cash here in Oakland off of this listing. So yeah, just super a lot of gratitude for everything that's going on right now. And it seems like it's just a cycle now, me being in gratitude instead of stressing and worrying about shit. Who just makes it keep coming around, it seems like. So good place to be in.
That's right, my man. That's right. And listen, I can't see the rest of the chair, but I think it's a classic chair. I feel like I would drink coffee there and read in the morning time. Okay, so I like it. So sometimes you got to have an ugly piece of furniture that our wife doesn't like. Chris, let's roll with you, big dog, and then we're going to start to shift gears. Chris, what do you got for us? Wins from last week?
Wins from last week. I held open house for the whole weekend on my new listing in Southland Park, and probably about 30 groups came in over the weekend, connected well with some sellers, potential buyers, expecting 3 offers to come in today, just 2 days on the market. So that was a pretty good win. I'm sure it'll go over list price. While I was doing open house here, Sophia did our open house in Benicia. There wasn't too much volume over there for that condo, but our online marketing picked up about 5 buyers that reached out to me about it. So gaining some momentum there. Got a listing that's finally coming on the market. $1 million listing in Lakeside, West Laguna here in Sacramento, coming on Tuesday. And took some new home builds that me and Sophia met at an open house, and leveraged Pulte Homes versus Presley Homes. And now I'm negotiating for the best deal. I actually emailed the manager at Presley Homes because that was a strategy that me and the sales rep came up with to try to get more incentives. So I'm just connecting with people and making shit happen and just keeping it moving.
Absolutely love this. Are you in a tie today, big dog?
Yeah, I'm going. I got another. I'm also.
We lost your audio. Say that one more time, Chris. I don't know what you're saying.
Sorry.
Let's try that one more time.
I also have life insurance, so I'm heading to my other job right now, and doing that thing.
My man. Well, you're looking sharp, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you sharing. Listen, here's what I'm experiencing. I want to share something with you guys. But yeah, absolutely. I agree with that, Lisa. I want you guys to take a look at this. And if you're not on the team, it's okay. Just bear with me for a moment. So right now, as a company, we have 100 units pending. Now, it's the most pending units that we've had in over 6 months at one time. So right now, we have $73 million worth of pending volume right now, and 257 sold units for the year. And a lot of teams, they are struggling. They're like, oh, it's a bad time, but I just don't see it. And what I'm hearing is people are in the pocket. You hear me say these words like in the pocket. I'm in a flow state. I'm in a groove right now. I believe that what's happening, if you're putting yourself out there, if you're knocking on the doors, if you're creating the social media content, if you're hosting an open house, and even if one person is coming to the open house, it doesn't matter. You're still putting yourself out there. You're talking to your friends and family. You're having these conversations. You're staying in the pocket, right? It's those that are staying in the cuts that are not succeeding in this business. Ones that are not taking action are not going to see the business. And so this business is pretty simple. Stay in motion, stay in action, and great things will continue to come to you. And that's what's happening. We're at 100 pending units as a company, you guys, and we got called out. Okay, we got called out. There's a #1 team right now in the company, and they're called Parker Pemberton. They're out in Minnesota. Now, they'll crush us on units. It's just their market, but they're also leading right now in volume. And they're like, are you just going to allow us to take this spot from you guys this year? And I'll tell you what, you guys, it got me fired up. It got me fired up because I know that we'll do less units, but I know that our volume will smoke them. And so all we need is to continue to turn up the notch a little bit, continue to turn up the notch, because if someone's calling me out in the ring, like, I'm down to throw them. I'm down to throw them. I know who we are. I know our history. I know the talent. I know how badass we are. There's nothing standing in our way right now. And so they want to come for that number 2, number 1 spot, then cool, it's open season. It is open season this year. And so I don't know about you guys. I love to win, but I fucking hate to lose. I hate to lose. So what I want us to all do is to dive deep this year and say, you know what? They're going to unleash the dog in me, right? They're going to unleash the savage in me. They're going to unleash something in me that says, you know what? I'm down. I am down for this battle. And listen, all it's going to take is for us to continue to push, continue to stay in the pocket, and continue to fight for that one more deal. You guys, I don't want to be beat, especially by Parker this year. I just don't want. Now, if you talk to Kenny, Kenny might have a little bit more of a passive approach, but Kenny's not the director of sales and coaching for the company. I am, okay? I have an aggressive approach because I want to win, and I want to see our name at least in that number 2 spot this year. Number 1's going to be a really, really hard challenge, but you know, at the end of the day, there's nothing stopping us from being number 1 or number 2 in this entire company. And I think about that 90,000 people in this company. I'm here for the fight. I am here for the fight. So you guys, let's go to you. I want to hear challenges that you're experiencing right now. And before we get to challenges, I want to pause for a second, because raise your hand or just give me an emoji on the screen if any of you have been reached out to by our brokerage, EXP, about compliance issues with your social media. Have any of you been reached out to, received any emails? JJ, I'll raise mine, Otis. Okay, cool. What I want to encourage everybody to do is take some time. And what I want you to do is I want you to audit yourself. Okay, so when we go in and you start to audit yourself, I'll just put Ophelia here. I was just looking, and Ophelia, I'm not calling you out in any way, shape, or form. It's just, I saw your face. So right here, if you look here, the one thing that they're going to ask you to put on here, what do you think is missing when you look at all of your bio stuff here, Ophelia? What do you think they're going to ask you to put there?
You want my DRE number?
Yeah, your DRE number.
I just don't, I think I'll figure it out.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I've gone in there, try to change it, and I don't know. I think I'm doing it from my phone, and I was called out, I want to say about a month ago, and I've been really slacking on it. So I got to be on it today.
Yeah, so here's why this is important, you guys, because if you don't fix it and you go through multiple warnings, what will happen is that they will stop you from getting paid until you get it done. Yeah. So the last thing I want you guys to do is have a delay on any of your income because of some small things. They asked me to fix a couple things. They called something out. I did a podcast on someone else's and they posted it on their platform. He's not even a realtor. He just interviews people in real estate, but my DRE number wasn't on there. I was like, it wasn't my podcast. They're like, tell that person, that host, to put your DRE number on there. So at the end of the day, it's to protect all of us. I know it's a nuance. I know it's something that it sucks to have to go through all your platforms. However, clean it up. That way you guys are in compliance. Go to your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, and all of your other online platforms, and make sure that your DRE number and EXP Realty is there. Make sense? Ophelia, any questions on that?
No, we're good. I'm actually on it right now, trying to figure it out.
All right, cool. Let's do this, you guys. I want to spend about 10 minutes here. Let's talk about challenges. Now, we've talked about being in flow state. We talked about being in the pocket. And that's what my boxing coach used to call it, in the pocket. But let's talk about some challenges that we're having right now. We all have them, whether it is in our business, in our life, in our health, whatever it is. I want to hear about the challenges that you guys are facing right now. And let's unpack some of those, because somebody on here might have the answer to something that you are currently challenged with. So I'm going to wait. I got 2 up right now. I need 3 more to carry on this conversation. So Kelly Hilker is on her 10-mile walk. Glenn Riggs, I need 3 other people to get involved in this conversation. Cool. Cindy, how are you? Good to see you. Nice to have you here and keep it moving. All right, so let's go. Kelly, share with us what your challenge is.
Okay, so yesterday, so I've been working with this family. I've told you guys about the hoarder family that literally took me like weeks to get the house cleaned up. Oh, the son's a drug addict, and I've had to clean up oil before my
Kelly,
open house. What?
I'm gonna slow you down for a second. Put your camera off because your audio is spotty.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I've been dealing with this family, and the son's a drug addict, and it's okay. I'm sympathetic towards all that. I've dealt with stuff with it. Anyway, so yesterday I come in for my open house, and the mom's knocking on the door, like, we gotta go, we gotta go. Kelly's here, da da da. And he's like, fuck that fucking bitch. She fucking changes everything. Fuck her, da, da, and like goes off. And I was like, oh, hell no, because I am a firecracker. And it's about to go up there and knock this fucker out. So I picked up my stuff and I walked outside of the house and got my car, because also I've seen this kid has guns. He's high on fentanyl. Like, I am like, whoa, like, no. Anyway, long story short, I went for a little drive. I had to calm down. He texts me that you can't just walk out. It's a breach of contract. And I said, then fire me. And I probably shouldn't have said that. Well, anyway, I ended up going back to the house because I had people coming from my open house from the day before, buyers that were interested in, because I have 2 listings in Brentwood right now. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to blow this. Well, anyway, finally the kid left. I went back inside. I had a successful open house. I think I'm going to be getting a couple offers, but it was a lot, and I feel for this lady and everything. And like, I'm glad I kept my cool and I left and I came back, and I'm going to push through. If it wasn't for this mom, I would have told them to get screwed. But I feel for this mom. I'm sorry that she has this, but this morning I had to lay the ground rules. I'm like, first of all, he is not to be there ever when I come again. And, we had to talk it out this morning, me and the mom, but it was crazy. So what would you have done in this situation?
Personally would have let this client go, but that's my personal opinion. I would have let him go. There's no reason why you, as the realtor, need to feel any type of abuse at all, verbal. There's no need for that, right? Like, I don't care if it's the son or whatever. Like, I'm here to help the mom. At the end of the day, he's going to be there. And who's to say that he's not going to leave once the house goes pending? And now you're going to have this litigious battle of trying to get him out of the house. I personally, if you're asking my opinion, I would walk. I would walk. That's my opinion, though. Now, somebody else might have a different opinion on this, but I personally would set my boundaries up of like, you know what? First off, if we were in a different context, then things would go a different way. However, this is business, and I'm going to remove myself from the situation. That's me. He has a problem. He needs to get himself some help, but I personally would remove myself from the situation. I saw some people shaking their head. I saw JJ, I saw Ashley, I saw Ophelia. I would love to get your guys' thoughts on that, but personally, if it was me, I would walk.
Yeah, hard no. There's no. I elevated out of that life, sir. And I don't have time for any of this nonsense in my life. And that's clearly crossing a boundary. Zero tolerance for that kind of behavior. If you're threatening or cursing at me, you're not worth any type of transaction.
Yeah, because Kelly, at the end of the day, yeah, you said you put your foot down today. Okay, good. There's so much. It's so unpredictable dealing with a drug addict. So today you might have said sorry, but one thing can send them over the edge again. It's so unpredictable dealing with drug addicts. And I don't think it's fair to you. And I personally would walk. But let's hear from JJ. Let's hear from Ophelia. Then I'm going to go to Glenn. Let's go, JJ.
Is it strictly a business relationship? I mean, if it,
Well, now this mom has become my friend. She's been going to church.
But it started as a business relationship.
Yeah, this is the one I knocked on the door. Just saw the dumpster out front, knocked on the door. And
all money ain't good money.
and
Elias knows that phrase from other parts of life.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I've paid, like, I had my crew come and I paid kids. Like, I'm not only into, if it was just a listing, Yeah, I probably just asked it right now, but I've had to pay like $3,000. I don't have money. I had to pay these kids to come trash out her house. And like, I just told her I'm not coming back to do any more open houses. People could come see the house by appointment only. And hopefully I just get it sold. I'm so fucking broke right now that I can't just walk away. If I wanted to, if I could, I would.
All right, Kelly, we're gonna get some, let's go to Ophelia, and then we're gonna move on from this situation.
I would take it a step further, because of his unpredictability. If an agent is assaulted, or as you leave it open to somebody come showing, there's just so much unpredictability to it, and I totally get it. I've invested money in I mean, I had 2 listings, seller didn't want to budge, both got canceled. Just like JJ said, is not all money is good money. Sometimes it's worth the peace of mind, but as real estate agents and professionals, I know that at the end of the day, we want to have that grit, like I'm going to push through this. But if there is any inclination in your gut feeling that you should walk away, because not everybody can handle battles the same, but I had multiple warnings that I should walk away, but I was like, the only way I'll find out is to go through it. And this one, I was like, so that's just my tidbit. Only you can answer that, but I would think ahead with other real estate agents showing the property, or it might become just a nuisance. And hopefully that he doesn't do anything. I hope they have insurance in the property too. So if he pops off on
Yeah,
somebody else.
it's a very volatile situation. I know what you're dealing with. I know the emotions that are behind this, but personally, your peace of mind is worth more than this. And, we're going to close this chapter of the conversation. We're going to move on. Glenn Riggs, let's go over to you. Glenn Riggs, biggest challenge you're facing right now. Let's work on this.
Yeah, so my business is doing great. Things are great, but on the home front, just a lot of struggles with my kid. I don't always get emotional, but today's one of those days. And it's 15 years old, and the challenges I'm dealing with involve police officers and arrests and parole appointments and court dates. And it, it's interesting how I've got huge success on one side, and my life isn't terrible at home, but it's making sure that I'm balancing that and being there for my kid. I only have one, and we adopted him, so we worked really, really hard to get this kid from a situation in an environment where he probably wouldn't be alive today. So, it's tough to support them in life and still be their parent.
Yeah. I think that this is a conversation we should probably take off of coaching, but I'll tell you what, man, like I was that kid. I was that kid that came from, look at Brianna saying that she was that kid. And like, the way that you've been able to grow and the way that you show up here, it's absolutely incredible. So I want to first off commend you for sharing this, because I didn't know, right? We know you, we see how you show up, we see you're smiling, we see everything that you bring to the world that we're in, but we don't see all the struggles that you go through, my man. And so I appreciate you sharing that, because I had no idea. But I would definitely encourage you to just spend some time away, go do something, go camping, go do something cool. I don't know if your kid has ever gone to any type of therapy or anything like that, man, but at that age, I was opposed to it. But I'll tell you what, it's a new world that we live in. Maybe there's some people that could talk to them, get them in a cool, different circle, take them on a trip, like go see something, go see some music. I don't know, maybe ask him what he wants to do. But that's a really, really tough situation. So I don't know, you guys, if you've dealt with anything like that, you want to give Glenn any type of advice or words of wisdom or words of encouragement, feel free to grab the mic and share with him. I would love to hear from you, Brianna. Say something.
And mainly,
Let's go for you.
You know what, Elias? Mainly, I wanted to share today because everybody just sees the polished Glenn, right? So often everyone sees the polished Glenn, but know that there's a real Glenn, that the struggles are real for all of us, and I'm dealing with it. And that's the main reason I came off mute today.
Man. Go ahead, Brianna.
They're coming from one of those kids, like there is another side. Just love on them. just love on him, stay consistent, and just love on him. There's a lot that goes inside when you come from trauma as a kid that you just have to work out. And counseling, sometimes just when all hell is breaking loose, just grabbing them and going away somewhere and just loving on them. Not bringing up, not the lectures, not the anything, just love on them because they don't love themselves. And that's going to take some time to just get through it. But being an asshole kid who was told I was going to be nothing by police, everyone around me telling me I wasn't going to do anything. And for a long time, I didn't. But you come out on the other side. I'm proud of who I am. And the cycle did not continue. My kids are not living that trauma. So if you ever need any talk or advice from one of those kids, you're more than welcome to reach out.
So much love. Thank you, Brianna.
You know, Glenn, I appreciate you just, sharing that with us. Like you said, just to make the space vulnerable, like, hey, you see the smiling Glenn, but at the end of the days, we're all going through our struggles, right? We're all going through our struggles, my man. And so if anything, just being here to put a smile on your face, to give you some words of encouragement, to say, hey, you got a big community here. If you want to grab some lunch, if maybe our kids want to get together, whatever it is, man, like if it just means that for you to be here and have these words of encouragement, then cool. Then that's the duty that this platform serves. So really glad that you just opened up and shared, and hopefully you guys can just get away, go camping, go see a concert, go get some food, and not be the parent. Because for me, I'm always parenting, right? I'm strict. Look at Aaron Crisp. He's like that. We're always strict. We're always on them. We're like, do this. I'm fucking militant, right? I'm militant. And I think about that. I'm like, damn, maybe if I wasn't so militant, right? Like maybe they wouldn't want to be on TikTok in their room. So man, this connects with me, Glenn, and I appreciate you sharing, big dog. And listen, we all know what it's like 15, but we don't all know what it's like being 15, being adopted and having that, resentment and sadness and all the things that are going on. And so I think that this is a normal course of action for a kid that has been through what your kid has been through. So you got all of us. Anytime we can support you in any way, but I do appreciate you just throwing it out there and sharing. So much love to you, and I appreciate you opening it up. Cindy Cruz, let's go to you. And then Aaron, you threw your hand up really quick, so I'm going to go to you in a second. So Cindy Cruz coming in all the way. Where are you from? Are you from Santa Cruz?
Santa Cruz, California.
Let's roll. What's up? Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thank you for having me. Okay, so I work with a top realtor. She was more of a buyer's agent, so she's been in the business for 5 years. She had 99 buyer sales, and this year she was like, let's hit the seller side. So we started working on listings. We spent a lot of time on doing listings at the beginning of the year, but the market has completely shifted and the listings are sitting. I don't know how it is over there, but like we're talking like 40, 45 days. I mean, we had another one like 60 days. And so we're dealing with that struggle. And then we're also dealing with the struggle of getting buyers to move. So I don't know if it's different over there in the Bay Area, but her and I are both feeling like, how do we like get out of this funk? Because we definitely need things to start moving.
All right, so I want to give you an idea that I heard from one of my coaching clients actually out here in Arizona, and I thought it was an amazing, amazing idea. So give me a higher price point home. What is I'm more on the higher end. Give me a price point of one of your listings that you have right now.
Okay, so like 2.379, which is way over. It is overpriced. I know that.
All right, cool. So then let's take that one, or maybe one a little bit below that. So here's what you do. Say again.
I have another one.
All right. What's the price point?
Okay, 1.15.
1.15, which is that a medium price for you in Santa Cruz?
Probably, yeah. It's a single home, yeah.
All right, so let's go there. So this team had a ranch style house that was sitting on the market for a little bit longer than what they wanted, and a little bit longer than the average days on the market in this area. So what they did is they did their version of broker open, but with a twist. And stay with me, City. What they did is they marketed like, hey guys, here's our 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful, everything, all the details of the home. If you're a realtor, we want to do something special for you. come out to this home. We're going to give you free content. All you're going to do is you're going to do your intro. Hi there, welcome to 123 Main Street. I'm showing this amazing property. And then they have all the B-roll that their videographer has already shot. So they cut that intro with that agent that comes out, and then it spans the house and does the whole, tour of the property. And then that final cut, that reel, goes to that agent so now they can post it on their wall. And so what you do, it's like a party, right? Everyone comes out, you're having all these realtors come out, they're getting on camera. All right, guys, we're gonna do a 30-second intro. Your videographer is there, all they do is shoot the intro. And now what's happening is that all these other realtors are out there promoting the property in ways that are way different because it's a reel, and now their audiences and more audiences are seeing it. Now it's catching the algorithm, and that formula absolutely blew up. And I've seen it work. It's not a theory. So that's one thing that I think you could do right now just to take it to a whole nother level. And if I find the video while we're talking, I'm gonna pull it up, okay?
So who puts together, so they do the intro and then we just send the intro to the agent and then they put the reel together, or we put it together?
No. Yeah, you guys put it together. So the videographer puts it all together.
For them, for the specific agent.
Correct. And now you have this dope reel that I got because I went toward your property at 127 Main Street that was listed at X amount.
Okay.
So and I'm gonna give you a quick example here. All right, cool. So check this out. I'm gonna press pause here. Let me just share this with you. It's funny because I'm here with them now.
So this home had already been on market for, okay. So
yeah, it had been on the market for a little while. And so they did this dope broker open. And I just think it's a way to really start to build even more buzz on the property. And you have way more realtors that are sharing that with their audiences. And then that's obviously going out to the algorithm. And so it's a really, really cool idea. And I'm hearing more and more companies and teams do this as I'm talking with more and more companies and teams. So that's one thought.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, if you guys have buyers that want to move to the Santa Cruz area, I got some inventory for you.
Or also hop on calls like this and let everybody know. All right, guys, what else we got for her? Any thoughts, ideas, any contributions, or any advice for Cindy if she has her listings that are maybe sitting on the market a little bit longer? Anybody have any advice?
I mean, it's like crickets. Like, we're not getting calls.
So,
disclosures aren't being downloaded.
2010.
Like,
Price controls the market. So if it's not selling.
Hold on, hold on, Kelly. So JJ, he was talking. Let's go, JJ. Then we'll go Kelly, and then we'll come full circle on the conversation. Let's go, JJ.
2010, $80,000 properties sat on the market for 6-8 months. So I know everything was easy, and you think 45 days is a long time, but what you have to do is, Elias gave you one very easy example of how to be different. But that's the thing that you guys have to do if you're trying to move this stuff. You have to be way more creative, way more aggressive, and expose it consistently all the time. It doesn't, Elias's idea was great. And I know that it's rinse and repeat for a lot of the times, but most people that haven't had their license for maybe more than 15 years have never experienced a market that's had listings sit for 6 months, literally, and that is the average. So if you want to get ahead of it, you've got to be creative. And the best part is the margins that we're working with are large, right? Like you just said, the lower price one was 1.1, which means you probably have some money. You don't have to spend a lot of money because you should be creative, but the regular throw it on the MLS, do a broker's tour, do a quick cool looking flyer isn't necessarily going to be everything. So you guys should actually, especially now with AI available, start looking at who is interested and find out where that information is. It's easy to access now. I do it now with investment properties, but your price points are strong enough where you should dedicate some time to research who's buying the properties, where they're coming from, and start looking at hitting those people. You know, we got really comfortable with just exposing it. You put it online, everybody sees it. Absolutely true. But now that there's more inventory and less buyers, you have to make yours as pretty as possible. I mean,
Yeah,
coming
a
from
really
a
good
fat
point,
guy who
JJ.
used to go to clubs, trust me, you got to do everything you can.
You say the fat guy that used to go to clubs.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this. Kelly, I'll come to you in a quick moment, but I think JJ hit something ideal here, like looking at migration reports, right? If I'm moving to Santa Cruz, where are most of those people coming from? Are they coming from San Jose? Is that where those people are coming from? And if so, what type of relationships do you have in that market? How many of those top producers that have sold tons of homes that live in San Jose are you making connections with? Like, how far out are you marketing the property? I would be looking at migration reports. Where are the people coming from that live in Santa Cruz and buy houses in Santa Cruz, and start marketing to that area? I think that would be a great idea for you. Let's go, Kelly. Kelly, you had something before JJ went, so let's hear from you.
I haven't been a realtor for that long, and I haven't have that much experience as JJ, so JJ is absolutely right. But I have had 2 listings that I could never sell, and it was because they were overpriced by a lot, and every other realtor would tell me the same thing, and every buyer and everyone, there was no showings. And so ultimately, they still want to sell their home, and so they've been through like 4 different realtors now, and the price hasn't changed much, but it's changed a little. So that's just my contribution, is that maybe, you know, sometimes price will have to do with a lot of it.
Okay, Kelly, you are absolutely crushing it right now. Okay, I'm going to say it and we'll say it again. Kelly and I spoke the other day. She is absolutely crushing it. But let's hear any more thoughts. Ashley, you had something in the chat below. Why don't you go ahead and chime in? Let's hear from you.
I was just going to ask, can you advertise a 2-1 buy down on the MLS to make a win-win situation? Buyers are looking at their monthly payment, not necessarily the price. So if they can wrap a 2-1 buy down in there, getting their payment 2% lower the first year, 1% lower the second year, that might create a win-win situation. And then lenders hold all the buyers. So send that listing to every lender that you know and ask them if they have a shopper in that price point, just to try to get the ball rolling.
I like those ideas. Thank you.
And then Cindy, how many people are in your database? I would take it that there's thousands of people in your database.
Yeah, she's got a few thousand. Yeah.
Is she sending that? And forgive me if she already is. Is she sending that to the database already?
I don't think we did. No.
All right, so here you go. So small little tweaks, like, hey, you know, check out our listing on 123 Main Street. Do you know anybody that wants to live in this neighborhood? Right? It's not necessarily going to be them. They might know somebody. So you know, take the pressure off of them and like, do you know anybody that would like to live in this neighborhood? Help us spread the word, right? And so it should definitely be out to every single person in your database, despite their price point. They might know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool. Cindy, thanks for tapping in. Thanks for being here today. And thanks for throwing a question out there. We really appreciate it. I want to make sure I get to all the hands, and then we're going to come back in a moment, Cindy, so don't go too far. Cece, you threw your hand up, but before we go to Cece, Aaron, you had a contribution. Aaron, what was your thoughts, contribution? I'm not too sure if it was when Glenn was speaking or what it was, but I want to make sure I don't miss your hand.
Yeah, no, I was just shout out to Glenn and Brianna. I was definitely that kid. And I think, and even you, Elias, because you did reference it, I have been constantly thinking about being too hard on my kids. And I think the part of the reason for that is because I was that kid. So I'm trying to keep them from doing what I did. And so just shout out to everybody for getting vulnerable.
Well, I appreciate you, my man. I appreciate you. My wife says, sometimes you can be softer. And I was like, I get it, right? But I never had a dad to tell me to clean up my shit, to get good grades, to do this, like clean up your room. I didn't have that. And so I think that I try to overcompensate for the father I didn't have. And so Aaron, I appreciate you sharing. Let's go, Cece. What do you got for us? Thoughts, contribution, or challenge?
So the challenge, and I talked about this client before, the seller of this condo, the co-listing that I have. On Saturday, he started texting late, like at 9:30, 9:45 at night. And I just didn't know if that was normal. And then the text kind of went after 10, and he's a little frustrated that it hasn't sold yet, which yesterday was the 3rd week that it's been listed. So I don't think it's really been that long, but you know, just his expectations of how fast it should sell, and just really having to reassure him that everything is you know, moving as it should. So that was just kind of the biggest challenge, but it's good for me to see that end of it, but also just, I don't know where the boundary is if clients are texting late at night. I mean, I don't know if everyone does that, just.
So a couple things here. Unspoken expectations lead to premeditated resentments. And, you know, consumers are the epitome of this. So what we need to do is we got to make sure that we are talking about things that he's thinking about. And what I would think would be the ideal thing for you to do is, knowing that this guy is worried, knowing that he's pushing you for information about what's going on, why is the house not selling, you need to be doing some type of weekly summary. Hey, Tom, this week we had X amount of people come to the property. We had X amount of showings. Our video was viewed by X amount of people. I had X amount of calls this week. Our open house had X amount of people. So based on where the market is, how many days are the average for houses like this in the market, we're doing really, really well. So hang in there. I got you. The strategy is working. The eyes are on the property. So give them some type of summary, right? And if you're not okay with him texting you at 9:30 at night, you let him know that you stop responding to text messages at 9 a.m. and you start responding at 8 a.m. the next day. Okay. Like, you set the boundary, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not cool with it, if you're not okay, now some realtors on the call, they're cool with it, they're all right with it. But if you feel that you do not want to have those calls at 9:30 at night, then don't have them. 9 o'clock, you're done. 8 o'clock, you'll return phone calls. That's it. Like, you're in the driver's seat. Yes, they hired you. However, if you're not in contract right now, if you're not in a negotiation battle, there's no reason for him to be texting you just because he's there sitting worried. So give him a weekly report, allow him to see what's going on every single week, and then say, yeah, if I don't respond to you past 9 o'clock, I'll get back to you at 8 a.m. the next day. That's it. Set the boundaries. Because if not, he's going to continue to text you. And then if you don't answer right away, what's happening? He's festering, he's thinking, he's building resentment. She's not listening to me. They're not doing a good job. It's sitting for days. Oh my God, they're not doing their job. Frustrated.
Can I chime in real fast?
Please.
So what I usually do is I tell my buyers, especially my first time home buyers or sellers, I said, hey, there's a lot of anxiety at times, a lot of questions. And the best time that you are going to start having these questions, I always know it's pillow talk. When you start putting your head to your pillow and you start talking to your wife, feel free to text me. Just know I'm not going to answer. I'll get to it the next morning. I know you're probably going to, an idea, you may be driving, whatever. I usually am very spontaneous with my thought process at that time. Send me a text, but just know that I'll be asleep or I will be with family time. I will respond to you the next day. And then they start texting. I just, you know, I don't. Now, yeah, you got to train yourself. Don't get tempted to answer real quickly. Just know it's there. But at least they feel comfortable that they've sent off whatever anxiety they were going through.
Also, I think sorry, go ahead, Elias.
No, go ahead, Auntie.
Oh, I would just say, if you do have the urge to text them back, you can always set it for tomorrow and have it set up to be sent out in the morning, like how you want it to be. Just sometimes you forget to, so you don't text back, but you can always get it set for the next day when your time to work.
But do you guys,
go ahead.
I'm just saying, do you guys have conversations at, 10 p.m.? I mean, is that, I just also want to make sure I'm being professional. Like, I mean, just because, they're texting, then you start responding. And like I said, it went after 10, I think till like 10:30. Like, it's just a lot of back and forth communication. So I just want to be appropriate and professional too,
Well, here's the thing on the professional thread, and I want to make sure that we end on time here. It's professional if it's professional to you, right? Meaning that if you have that type of dialogue with that consumer and you're okay with it, then by all means, text them past 10 o'clock. But if you feel like you don't want to, that no, that's my time with my kids, I'm relaxing, then no, any text is past 9 o'clock, I'll get back to you first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock. Right? Like you're the one that's okay. If you're okay with it, then that's all right. Like professionalism is literally up to you. If you're cool with texting your consumer at 11 o'clock at night, then cool, text them. That's the type of rapport you have. I know it's saying not to. However, if you feel that it's not within your boundaries, then you say 9 o'clock to 8 o'clock or whatever other time. JJ, last contribution, we're going to wrap.
Yeah, people, it's like Elias said, I don't care. People call me at midnight and I answer because my stuff is kind of fun. But it's up to you. And one of the things that you should do is in your voicemail, you should say, I answer calls back, whatever. I know most people don't leave voicemails, but you can also add that to your email on the bottom of it and say, I respond back to text messages and phone calls after 9 a.m. And so in your introductory email, you've already introduced that to them, so you don't have to have this harsh conversation later about you not wanting to do it. So that's a way to do it passively where they notice it, and then more than likely they'll say, hey, you know, I understand that you don't answer, but in this particular case, is it okay or whatever, versus them creating resentment because they think you're blowing them off.
That's right. And then they'll be like, you know what, Cece, I know I said I wouldn't text you, but I wanted to text you this. You know, I just had to write this. And then, you know, like they just had to get that off their chest, and then you respond accordingly. So people will adhere to the standards that you set and the boundaries that you set. But if there's none set, then they're going to text you at any time. So, and this is part of the learning. You're new still. So you guys, we're going to wrap. I want to make sure to keep everyone on time. Listen, it is Monday. This is the time where you have to think about what's going to move the needle in my business. We're not here to do busy work. We're not here to just open up our computers in the morning and get through coaching and like, okay, now 2 o'clock comes around, I haven't done shit. Like, move the needle in your business this week. Go and do the things that are going to be income producing activities that are going to move your business forward. That's why I love Mondays, you guys. It's the same sentiment every single Monday. What's going to move the needle in my business this week? What are small things that I can do to push my business forward? So you guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for all the contributions. Thank you to our guests for being here today from Santa Cruz all the way down to San Diego and everywhere in between, you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and make this a week that matters. Peace.